G'day guys, I recently released a 3-hour-long vlog covering the entirety of my trip to the WTC 2025, and I've decided what I want to do for convenience for you guys is break that down into 4 smaller clips so that you can more easily digest this amazing trip and experience. In this clip, we're going to go through each and every round of the WTC with updates from the event, a walk around, and a real showcase of what the WTC is like from the perspective of a captain and a player in this amazing event. And with that being said, let's jump into the video.
Walk for the Blood God.
G'day guys, here we are live at the first round of the WTC, Team Australia versus Team Cyprus. Let's go have a look at the games. Alright, over here we've got a couple coaches on duty. We got Jordan Beresford playing his Death Guard into Chaos Knights on the Risky Rollers stream. So make sure you tune in and check that game out in detail because there's some really spicy stuff happening there. We got Lockie One Leg Rig on his Blood Angels into their Chaos Demons, these big scary gribblies. Then we've got Greg Maginity, Thousand Suns into World Eaters. This is actually an interesting match. Greg and I played this practice game the other day, so we know what's happening there. Let's jump over onto this side, get out of Jordan McGregor's way.
So worried, 9-inch charge.
Ooh, we've got a 9-inch charge coming. So we've got Chaos Knights into Space Marines, I believe they're Space Wolves. We've got Mr. Martino himself playing with his Creations of Bile into their Emperor's Children. Then let's head down this way. We've got Sam, we've got Lockie Callaghan. Callaghan, say g'day.
Hey!
Coaching away. What have we got here? We've got Chaos, Imperial Knights, into what looks like Thousand Suns. Then we've got Reese Cunningham rocking his Sisters of Battle into Imperial Knights. Looks like trying to kill something. Looks like a big slog happening in the middle there. Stewie Trainer and the coaches from Cyprus having a chat. We've got Matt, the athlete, Morrisoli, playing his Necron Warriors into their Death Guard. And then we have the spare table, which has currently been relocated for the stream games. Alright, so that's where we're at in terms of pairings. As you can see, we've got this side of the room, but there's the whole event happening behind us there. A whole ton of people having a ton of fun, playing some awesome games of 40k. Pairings went pretty well for us. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. And we've got a few of our scores that are going up. So we're playing Supply Drop this round, and we're playing Tipping Point. And quite a few of our players got second turn, which is a huge advantage in this mission. And also quite a few of our players have the remaining objective as their safe objective. So really, really good luck on that. But we do have a couple games that are quite questionable.
2 hours left in the round.
And we got 2 hours.
Left in the round.
Alright guys, so I'll hit you guys back when we've got some more results to share. But Team Australia is looking strong start. Alrighty, g'day guys. Here we have the end of the first round. Team Australia versus Team Cyprus. Absolute ripper of a round. And I've got some scores here for you. So Matt Morrisoli played into the Death Guard and got a 19-1. Big win for Matt Morrisoli. Jeremy Martino into their Emperor's Children. Got a 20-0. Big win for him. Reese played his Sisters of Battle into their Imperial Knights and got a 14-6, so a big win. The game was looking a bit shaky at a few points, but there were some huge swings in it, which is good to see. Lockie Rig got a 19-1 with his Blood Angels into their Chaos Demons. So again, another really, really big win for Team Australia. Lockie Rig bringing it home. Callum German with his Imperial Knights into their Thousand Suns player. He also got a 19-1, so yet again, big scores for Team Australia. Jordan Beresford, 19-1 with his Death Guard into their Chaos Knights, and that one was up on the Risky Rollers stream, so make sure you check that out. Really cool game. Greg Maginity got a 13-7 with his Thousand Suns into their World Eaters, so another win for Australia. And then Jordan McGregor got a 6-14 loss with his Chaos Knights into their Space Wolves. This was a projected loss though. We expected that to happen, but we had to get that pairing in order to make sure that everybody else got these green matchups and bring home those points. So that rounds out the first round of the WTC. Team Australia got a total of 129 out of the available 160 battle points. So that's a very sizable win, a very strong start to the event. I'm super proud of the boys and what we were able to get done in this round. If we can ride this momentum, we're looking real good. So with that being said, we've got a fireworks display that's about to kick off, which is fucking cool. And then we're gonna do a big barbecue dinner, head back to the accommodation, do some data, have a bit of a chat, and get ready for the next round. So that rounds out the first day of the WTC, and I will hit you guys back tomorrow when we get stuck into Slovakia. G'day guys, here we are, round 2 of the WTC 2025, Team Australia versus Team Slovakia. Let's flip the camera and have a look at the games and get updates. Alright, we've got the stream game here, Matt Morosoli with his Necrons into their Tyranids. Risky Rollers doing their thing. Make sure to jump over and check them out. Got Sam being a lovely coach. We've got Jordan McGregor here with his Chaos Knights into a Chaos Knight mirror match. Always a spicy game, always a fast game. We've got Jeremy Martino here with his Creations of Bile into a beautifully painted Necrons army. Really gorgeous. We've got Lockie Riggs, Blood Angels here, going into some Death Guard. We've got Reese Cunningham, Sisters of Battle, playing into Eldari. We've got Callum playing his Imperial Knights into a Grey Knights army. Then we've got Jordan over here playing his Death Guard into an Imperial Knights army. Spicy matchup there. And then we've got Greg over here playing his Thousand Suns into Astra Militarum. This is actually a matchup that they did during War Masters, and then they got paired into each other, which is always interesting to see. And that is the round. So that's everyone who's playing. We got some pretty good results with our pairings process. We're looking strong, and a few of the games have spiked up from what we were predicting as well. So I'm very, very happy with the way that this round is going, and it's looking like it's going to be a decent sized win, provided we don't have any, nasty surprises, which, you never know. It is the WTC. So I will check back with you guys after the round is done and update you on the results. Alright, g'day guys. We've just started our third round of the WTC, but I thought I'd take a moment to update you on the results from our second round, which was into Team Slovakia. So Team Australia got a big win here. I'll go through the individual pairings now. So we have Matt Morosoli on his Necrons play into their Tyranids. This was the stream game that you could watch on the Risky Rollers live stream of the WTC, and he got a draw, a perfect 10-10. Then we had Jeremy, his Creations of Bile, played into the Necron Slovakia player and got a 16-4 win, so a big win for Jeremy. Reese Cunningham on his Sisters of Battle got a 16-4 into their Eldari, so another big win. Then we had Callum German on the Imperial Knights, played into, where are we here? Grey Knights, and got a 20-0 win. We had Lockie Rigg on Blood Angels, got a 14-6 win into their Death Guard. We had Jordan Beresford running our Death Guard list, playing into the Imperial Knights and got an 18-2, another big win. We had Greg Maginity on his Thousand Suns into their Astra Militarum, got a 13-7 win. This was the matchup that was a repeat of the one that they played in the War Masters, so that was really exciting to see. And then Jordan McGregor got a 20-0 with his Chaos Knights into the opponent's Chaos Knights. So as you can see, quite a few very big wins in there. There were some really interesting moments. One that I witnessed was with Jordan McGregor and his Chaos Knights in the mirror match. There was one instance where Jordan had one of his big knights out the front. The opponent sent a bunch of shooting from his big knights into it to soften it up, then sent a carnivore in, hoping that it would kill it in melee, but it failed to kill it. And then the Atropos or whatever it was that he was attacking fought back, killed the carnivore. Then it ticks over to Jordan's turn, and Jordan was able to send that knight out and kill another big knight. So that was a huge swing. The opponent was expecting to have a carnivore and a big knight, but instead Jordan still had his big knight and his opponent had neither of his pieces. That's what blew that one out into a 20-0. There was some really spicy moments in the stream game as well, so make sure you go check that out. The archive footage is still there, so you can go watch that game retrospectively, because obviously the time difference is a bit much for us Aussies. But yeah, all in all, absolutely fantastic round. The team are absolutely stoked with the results. We've just paired into Norway, so I'm going to give the team a moment to get settled into their games, and then I'll hit you guys with a live update on the happenings here in round 3. So yeah, I'll check back with you guys soon. G'day guys, here we are midway through round 3 of the WTC for 2025, Team Australia versus Team Norway. Let's flip the camera and have a look at some games. So we've got Jeremy Martino here on the stream game versus the, he's playing his CSM versus their Blood Angels. Very spicy game here. On the Risky Rollers stream, make sure to check the links out in the description and follow along. Then here we've got Cal running his Imperial Knights into Kettle and his Astra Militarum. Exciting game there. We've got Reese Cunningham with his Sisters of Battle playing into Imperial Knights. Interesting looking match here. We got Lockie Rig over here playing his Blood Angels into some Death Guard. Over here we've got Greg playing his Thousand Suns into a bright blue and pink Chaos Knight army. Got Jordan Beresford over here, Death Guard, into pretty gnarly Tyranid list. Looking very cool. We got Geordie running his Chaos Knights into some Thousand Suns. Looks like he's pushing up quite aggressively there, it's good to see. And then we've got the worst matchup ever, Matt Morosoli in the Necron mirror match. So
this is the most miserable game in the entire event.
Nobody likes the Necron's mirror. Nothing happens. So yeah, so that's where we're at in terms of the WTC for round 3. In total, our pairings was actually kind of interesting. So we had a predicted, I think, around 85 or 86 on the Matrix, which isn't a super strong, super dominant pairing. However, if history is going to, indicate the future, our team have been consistently hitting above their predicted values. So I think we're being quite conservative, quite realistic with our expectations, and we are continually exceeding them. So if we can keep that trend up, then this should be a pretty sizable win. But we have the capacity for it to potentially become a relatively close round. So it's going to be really interesting to see here how this one goes. Make sure to tune into the Risky Rollers wherever they are over here and get the live coverage of the event there. And I will hit you guys back with an update. All right, g'day guys. There we have the end of the 3rd round of the WTC and another win for Team Australia. I'm so proud of the boys. Let's have a look at the scores that we got in this round. So we had Matt Morosoli play his Necrons into the Necron, so a mirror match, really ugly game, but Matt was able to pull a 12-8 win out of it, which is fantastic. Jeremy played on the Risky Roller stream with his Creations of Bile into the Norway Blood Angels, and he went down and got a 7-point loss. Then we had Reese Cunningham playing his Sisters of Battle into their Imperial Knights, and he was able to pull out a 13-7 win, which is really impressive. Really, really good result there from Reese. We had Lockie Rig with his Blood Angels play into their Death Guard, and he managed to pull a 20-0 win, a massive win from Lockie Rig, which is fantastic to see. He's on fire this weekend, absolutely on fire. We had Cal and his Imperial Knights played into Kettle and his Imperial Guard, and got an 11-9 win, which is pretty good. Jordan Beresford playing his Death Guard into their Tyranids, got a 14-6 win. It was looking a bit shaky there. There was one turn when the Shadow of Chaos battle shocked his entire army, so real touch and go for a while there, but he managed to pull it back and then really enhance those results, bringing back that 14-point win. Then Greg McGinnity, he got a loss. However, it was a 9-11 into their Chaos Knights, and this was a predicted loss. We thought he was going to lose. He basically jumped on this grenade for us, and it was fantastic to see him pull those 9 points out of it. And then the last game was Jordan McGregor's Chaos Knights into their Thousand Suns, and he got an 11-9 win. So that's 6 wins, 2 losses. Really strong result for Team Australia into Norway. And I'm going to find out what Lockie's laughing about in the background there, and I'll hit you guys with an update tomorrow. G'day guys, here we have round 4 of the World Team Championships. Team Australia into Team Sweden. Let's flip the camera and have a look at some game. Alright, we got Matt Rosoli, Necrons, playing into Thousand Suns here. We've got Reese Cunningham drawing some secondaries there, running his Sisters of Battle into Eldari. Over here, we've got Lockie Rigg playing his Blood Angels into some Leagues of Votan. Very interesting game. We got Jordan Beresford running his Death Guard into some Chaos Knights, sorry. We've got Jeremy Martino here, just going to squeeze through, playing his CSM into Khorne Demonkin with the old ruling for the Bloodletters. A very, very cool Khorne Demonkin list. Over here, we've got McGregor playing his Chaos Knights into Death Guard. And then on the stream table, which the stream is called Viesla, for those who want to join the Swedish stream, we've got Callan German running his Imperial Knights into Sisters of Battle. There's the lads doing the stream there. Really cool little setup that they've got.
That doesn't matter.
And that's the matchups for the round. So this is our first round into a Seed 1 team. Sorry, just going to scooch past some people. So this is our first round into a Seed 1 team. These rounds are always hard. The Seed 1 teams are all strong, some of the strongest players from the strongest nations in the world. And we had a pretty flat matrix into them before the round started, predicting a lot of 10s. And then when the pairings came through, there was a lot of 10-10s that were matched. So it's going to be a really interesting one to watch. I think we've got quite a few that have the capacity to swing up and get 11s, 12s, 13s. But we also have a few that have the capacity to swing down and get those 8s, 9s, etc. So early signs, unfortunately, are not looking amazing. I just saw Khan the Betrayer kill almost an entire unit of Possessed on his own. Jeremy just failed all of his invulnerable saves, even threw neg1 to hit from Creations of Isle. So that's a bit rough. And we also had a few games that it was really important that we get the second turn, like our Necrons matchup, for example, where we unfortunately got the first turn. And that can also heavily impact the scores. That can turn a 10 into a 9 or an 8 very, very easily. So not super happy with our current position, but I also have immense faith in my team to rally and pull for those points when needed. They've done it a billion times before, and I have no doubts that they'll be able to do it for us now. So I'm going to head back in there and make sure that I keep everybody updated on the current game state across the board so that they can make informed decisions on whether or not they need to take those risky plays or whether they need to play safe. So I'll check back with you guys at the end of the round, update you on the scores, and wish us luck. Alright, g'day guys, that's round 4 of the WTC, done and dusted. Team Australia versus Team Sweden with a big win for the Swedes. So a really, really exciting and fun round. There was some really interesting games. Let's go through the results now. So we had Matt Morrisoli with his Necrons playing into their Thousand Suns. He got a 10-10 draw. We had Jeremy Martino on his Creations of Bile, got a 4-16 loss into their World Eaters. That Khorne Demonkin did some really, really cool tricks that flipped that matchup. Reese Cunningham got a win with his Sisters of Battle, a 13-7 into their Eldari. We had Lockie Rigg also got a win, 12-8 with his Blood Angels into their Leagues of Votan. We had Callum German got a draw, 10-10 into their Sisters of Battle with his Imperial Knights. That one was on the Swedish stream, so for those of you who want to check that out, I'll chuck a link in the description below, so where you can find that. We had Jordan Beresford with his Death Guard, got a 5-15 loss into their Chaos Knights. Greg Maginity with Thousand Suns got a 7-13 into their Space Wolves, so another loss. And then Jordan McGregor with his Chaos Knights into their Death Guard was a 3-17 loss. So it was actually quite interesting. We had Death Guard versus Chaos Knights on 2 different tables. Our Death Guard lost and our Chaos Knights lost. So that's a really interesting, situation where you'd think if the Death Guard beat the Chaos Knights, then our Death Guard should beat their Chaos Knights. But that wasn't how it turned out. There was some truly phenomenal bad luck in a few of those games. Our Death Guard failing all of their 6-inch charges, even with rerolls, for example. And sometimes that happens in 40k, regardless of whether you're playing at a local RTT or if you're playing on the world stage. So it happens to us all from time to time. And the end score was a 64-96 loss for Australia. So that's a pretty decent sized win for Sweden. So fantastic work to them. I'm sure their team put in a ton of effort to prepare for this round, as did we. And the best man came out on top. So we're now playing into Team Belgium, and I will update you guys with those pairings and give you a mid-round update in a moment. G'day guys, round 5 of the WTC 2025 is underway. Team Australia into Team Belgium is happening right now. Let's flip the camera and have a look around. So we've got the Risky Rollers streaming there. We've got Greg with his Thousand Suns versus Liam VSL running Eldari on the stream table here. We can see we've got Adam Batista and Stewie Trainer working hard as coaches. Hey, Stewie. We got Lucky Rig versus, with his Blood Angels versus Chaos Knights. We've got Matt Morrisoli with his Necrons versus Tyranids in what would be one of the most miserable games imaginable, because it's Tyranid Carpet versus 40 Necron Warriors. I feel sorry for you, mate. You're doing the pairings, what are you talking about? We got Geordie here playing his Chaos Knights into Thousand Suns, and he's locked in a 10-10. That's good to hear. We've got Reese with his Sisters of Battle versing the Necrons. We've got Silent King and some Wraiths all up in Reese's shit. It's not what you want to see. We got Cal with his Imperial Knights. He's versing some Chaos Space Marines there, Accursed Cultists. Then we've got Jordan Beresford over here with his Death Guard going into Blood Angels with some judges making a ruling on what looks like piling in. Then we've got Jeremy Martino here with his Chaos Space Marines playing into Death Guard. So another Death Guard versus a combat matchup. I believe that's our Rodigust in the middle that's running up into the center of the board. Very interesting matchup there. And then we have the spare table, which is the stream table. All in all, pretty interesting round, pretty interesting matchups here. Our matrix was pretty flat into Belgium as well, so similar to how it was into Sweden. However, this time we're tracking a lot better. We're looking a lot closer to a draw, top end of a draw, potentially a very small win, depending on how some of these results come in. And but we're a lot more confident this round than we were into Sweden, that's for sure. Into Sweden, the wheels came off really fast early in the round, and then that influenced a bunch of decisions. We had people that were like, well, if those 2 people that were supposed to win are losing, we need to make risky plays to try to claw it back. And then those risky plays don't pay off, and then you end up sinking even further into the hole. Whereas in this one, we've got the inverse, where it's like, cool, the people that were supposed to win have gone up and they're getting really dominant starts to their games, which means everybody else can kind of relax and just play clean 40k and just bring back your predicted scores. You don't have to take any big risks, and as a result, we're going to probably lock this round in as a draw or a small win. So yeah, I'll check back with you guys when we have more results. Record. It's recording now. Okay. Fuck's sake.
You sure?
It's definitely recording.
Maybe.
Alright, g'day guys, this is take 2. I just recorded this entire thing without hitting record, and the Risky Rollers are laughing their asses off at me, so let's try that again. We're in round 6. we're against Team Scotland. And I'm going to update you on the results from round 5 versus Team Belgium. And then I'll do a walk around and update you on what's happening here as well. So round 5, Team Belgium, we got a slightly disappointing loss. We were very close to a draw, but there were a few downswings right towards the end of the round that sort of took it away from us. So let's go through the rounds. We had Matt Morosoli playing his Necrons into their Tyranids, got a 12-8. Now this was Gaunt Carpet with a billion Gaunts and Hormagaunts and Gene Stealers versus 40 Necron Warriors reanimating, so it was an absolutely miserable game to watch. But Solly managed to pull that 12-8, which is fantastic to see. Jeremy Martino, Creations of Bile versus Death Guard. This was a really spicy matchup as well. There were some swings and ups and downs throughout the round, but it landed on a 10-10 draw for Jeremy. And then we had Reese, Sisters of Battle, playing into their Necrons, and Reese got his first loss of the event. It's unlike Reese to lose a game, so that's disappointing to see, but he did give it his all, and you got to commend that. Then we got Lucky Rig, got a loss, his first loss for the event as well. 7-13 loss into their Chaos Knights. Callum German got an 18-2 win with his Imperial Knights into their Chaos Space Marines. So massive win for him. I checked in on that game several times, and every single time I went over there, it was just the Chaos Space Marine army was just disappearing piece by piece, and he still had all of his big knights for the majority of the game. So really dominant win there, which really helped out because the team was struggling. Then we got Jordan Beresford, got a 7-13 loss with his Death Guard into their Blood Angels. We had Greg Maginity on stream on the Risky Rollers channel, so if you want to check out that game in its totality, you can find it there. He played his Thousand Sons into Liam VSL's Eldari. He got a 3-17 loss. However, Liam had 20'd all of his previous opponents for this event. So our player was the first one to chip some points away from Liam and just show people that even gods bleed. Then we've got Jordan McGregor as our final score, which was his Chaos Knights into their Thousand Sons, and he got a flat 10-10 draw. So that ended with a 72-88 Austria's way. That's not Austria, Belgium's way. So a win for them. We were 3 points shy of a draw, so it was really close. We gave it our all. Unfortunately, there was some swings last minute that the rest of the team weren't really able to recover from. Sometimes if you have really disappointing swings early in the round, you can inform the players and other players can pick up the slack. But if the whole round you don't have that information and then it swings last minute, there's not much you can really do to save that. So we've all played those games where your opponent gets a massive primary at the end, draws some really brutal secondaries and just gets that 20-25 points, and it goes from a 10-10 to an 8-12, and you're just like, I nearly had him. And that's essentially what's happened here. So I'm going to check in with the team, make sure they've got everything that they need, and then I'll do a whip around and I'll update you on our round into Scotland.
I can get up with my mouth and my tongue.
There you go, you can clean that off. You can clean that off. G'day guys, here we have round 6, Lockie Callaghan coaching Team Australia into Team Scotland. Let's have a whip around and look at some game. So we've got the stream game. Callaghan's having a fucking ripper of a time. We've got Greg playing his Thousand Sons into a mostly dead Tyranids army at this stage on the Risky Rollers stream, so make sure you check those guys out. We've got Jeremy Martino here playing his Creations of Bile into Innes Wilson's Gene Stealer Cult. Really spicy matchup there. We've got Lockie Rig playing his Blood Angels into a Thousand Sons matchup here. Another really ripper of a game. Then we've got an empty table. Then we've got Reese Cunningham, Sisters of Battle into Blood Angels. Really, really brutal matchup here. There was a really funny moment just before where Reese pulled off this massively complex charge to play around fights first. And then after he'd finished doing it all, his opponent's like, I don't have fights first. And Reese just mistook it. So that was pretty funny. It was a massive waste of time, but good opportunity for some skill expression anyway. Then we got Cal. Your game's finished, yeah, Cal? Yeah. Yeah, big 20-0. That's all he knows how to do. This cunt doesn't know how to drop a point. So that was Imperial Knights versus Astra Militarum. Then we've got Chaos Knights here versus Death Guards. Looking like a decent win for you two, Geordie? Yeah. So, and then we had a Necron mirror match here. Let's look at this fucking game state. Like, Jesus. This Necron warrior unit, I'll get out of the light, spans all the way across from one safe objective to the other safe objective. And it looks like Solly just successfully body blocked him and prevented him from getting past that line and locked in a decent primary, decent win. I think it was a 15-5 there. Then we got Beresford here. He's playing his Death Guard into what looks like a CSM. We've got a lot discorded there. This is a bit more of a scrappy kind of game, but that's fine. We've locked in some pretty decent wins so far. So that's something that's totally fine. So all in all, we're pretty happy with the way that this round is going. We had a pretty strong projection. Even though our matrix was relatively flat, the pairings team did a fantastic job and got us some really favorable matchups. And then our team are delivering on them. And even some of the flatter scores of your projected 10-10s, all of them have sort of spiked upwards. One or two have maybe slightly trended down, but that's totally fine in this situation. So the team have basically had a nice relaxed game where all they have to do is hold to their projection. Nobody has to do any risky moves and push. Nobody has to try to pick up the slack of anybody else. It's just everybody stay the course and we'll be fine. And that's made it a really fun round. The Scottish guys have been an absolute blast. One thing that I'll cut in here is at the start of the round, we had one of the Scottish coaches sucked a big scoop of Vegemite off of Matt Morrisoli's big toe. So that was pretty funny. It's we're a bit of a superstitious bunch, the Aussies, and that was a really good omen. Soli's toe's a bit of a myth in WTC. We've had captains from multiple teams have sucked his toe as a sort of a blessing, and it always pans out well for us, and this is another example of it working fantastically in our favor. So with that being said, going to end it here, and I'll update you guys at the end of the round.
Alrighty guys, so pairings went really well. We've got a projected 90. If we win this round, we've got a really good shot at top 5. So that's what you want to think about while you do it. But even if we don't, I'm really fucking proud of every single person on this team for what we've achieved so far. With that being said, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Cheers, Buster Wendy!
Alrighty guys, here we have the final round of the WTC, Team Australia versus Team Netherlands. Let's flip the camera and have a look around. Alright, we got Matt Morrisoli going up against, with his Necrons going up against Drakari on the Risky Rollers stream. If you want to watch this game, links in the description. We've got Jeremy Martino, Chaos Space Marines, going into a 60 Necron Warrior build. So that's going to be interesting to see. Can he kill through them? We've got Greg Maginity here with his 1,000 Suns going into Death Guard to settle which one's the stronger Trader Legion. Over here we got Lockie Riggs' Blood Angels going into a yellow Space Wolves army. Very interesting combats happening here. It's looking pretty brutal. Over here we've got Jordan Beresford with his Death Guard going into a Subterranean Assault Tyranids list. Very interesting. We've got a Knights matchup here, Chaos Knights versus Imperial Knights with old mate Jordan McGregor. Then over here we've got Chaos Knights versus Sisters of Battle. Quite a rough matchup there for Reese, so let's see if he can pull some points out of it. And then we've got Callum German here, 1,000 Suns into Imperial Knights with the Oztropos himself, the Aussie Atropos. So yeah, pretty exciting games there. It's actually a pretty tight round, to be honest. Projected scores were quite good, but some of them vary pretty heavily based on who's going to get first turn. And it's looking like a few of those didn't go our way. But I have full faith in our team to sort of turn those around, and as long as people can stick to those projected scores, we should be fine. So that's been the instructions. Everyone's been told don't play any risky moves, don't do anything crazy, just stick to your projections and we should be fine. So that's the game plan for this round. If we win this, we've got a real shot at top 5, which is fantastic. But even if we lose this, I'm massively proud of what the team has achieved on this trip. We put in a ton of work, had a ton of fun, made a ton of new friends along the way. But let's see if we can land this plane safely into that top 5 position. I'll hit you guys back at the end of the round to let you know how we did. G'day guys, there we have the end of round 7 and the end of the WTC. Team Australia just went into Team Netherlands and we got a nice big 101 point win. So let's run through the scores now. We got Matt Morrisoli ran his Necrons into Jakari and got a 13-7. We had Jeremy Martino's Creations of Bile got a 12-8 win into Necrons. Sisters of Battle Reese Cunningham got a 2-18 loss into Chaos Knights. He had to jump on that grenade for the team to get their results though. We had Lucky Riggs Blood Angels big 20-0 win into the Space Wolves. Absolutely brutal game there. We had Callum German Imperial Knights 13-7 win into Thousand Suns. We had Jordan Beresford's Death Guard 11-9 win into their Tyranids. We had Greg Maginity get a 10-10 draw with his Thousand Suns into their Death Guard. And we had Jordan McGregor on his Chaos Knights seal it for us with a big 20-0 win against their Imperial Knights. So some absolutely massive wins there, able to bring us that win. So Team Australia went 5 wins, 2 losses, which means we've performed better than we did last year, and it's very much looking like a potential top 5 placing. I'll come back to you guys when we have the final standings. There's a few rounds yet to be submitted, but I wanted to update you on our results from our round, and the energy is high here. Everyone's really stoked with the results, and yeah, I'll check back with you guys later.
Look for the Blood God.